Shit. This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Yo, what up though, people? Like to welcome you back to the Keep the C Note podcast. As always, I am your boy Brown. Shout out to everybody tuned in. This your first time tuning in. Salute to you. Please hit the sub button for us. Everybody that's tuned in, please hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop new content. Don't be afraid to leave a comment. You agree with something. You disagree. You want to check me on something. Or if you just want to call me a Oouuber, let me know in the comments. Just please keep it a C note. And make sure you share this page with somebody that likes the debate like you like the debate so we can all debate together. Funniest thing I've seen so far this week, Arthur Blank, owner of the Atlanta Falcons, was asked about Lamar Jackson. He said they were cool on Lamar Jackson. He lists certain reasons, being as though he has durability issues. Everybody on social media and sports analysts picked him apart because they said last season he was all in, trying to get Deshaun Watson. Why Deshaun Watson had the allegations. And Deshaun Watson has had 2 ACL surgeries, so they called him out on a BS. He came back, he clarified. Instead of him basically just saying, Deshaun has ties to our team, and that's why we did that. He made up another excuse that he's getting roasted for. But he's basically saying they don't want to give up a large portion of their salary to one player no more. I just found it funny because NFL owners, I don't know if it's protocol to just try to be as polite as possible when saying you're cool. But it's a lot of Lamar Jackson supporters out here, analysts, fans, and all that. So owners, if you're asked about Lamar Jackson and you say you cool, just leave it at that. Because if you go anywhere past that, they're going to dive into it, pick it apart. And if you got some contradiction with it, then they're going to approach you about it. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, though, New England Patriots allegedly are cool on Lamar Jackson. We know the Commanders said they were cool on Lamar Jackson. There's been trade rumors, Lamar Jackson to the Vikings. Even an interesting one I've heard is Lamar Jackson to Detroit. Keep it a C note. Give me one team that should be trying to trade for Lamar Jackson. Let me know. Let me ask you this. We can all agree Lamar Jackson is the most undervalued QB in the league. I can agree on that. I just want to say one thing, right? When people use the argument of, this person, Kirk Cousins, is getting this, and Stafford is getting this, and this person is getting this. Just because some of them teams got these quarterbacks where they may have overpaid these quarterbacks doesn't mean that I'm supposed to overpay my quarterback. I'm just keeping it a C note. I'm not saying a lot of them guys are better than Lamar Jackson, but I'm not giving nobody no money just on the strength of what the next person got. 5 people overpay for something, I'm supposed to be the 6th one to do it? Like, knock it off, would you? But I will agree, Lamar Jackson underrated. But I want to ask y'all, keep it a C note. If Lamar Jackson is the most undervalued quarterback in the NFL, is Jared Goff the 2nd most undervalued quarterback in the NFL? Again, They're talking Lamar Jackson. They're also talking about Detroit maybe drafting a quarterback, right? Jared Goff with Sean McVay, when the offense was explosive, when he had an offensive line, he went to the Super Bowl with that team. He lost the game, right? It was a horrible outing. I say McVay is the top 2 coach in the league. Some agree, some disagree. Most will agree and say that Sean McVay got out-coached that game. Jared Goff really doesn't have a ring right now, not because he played poorly. It was because Sean McVay coached a bad game. Now, the Rams' offensive line, they went downhill. Jared Goff's play went downhill. He was traded to Detroit. In Detroit, once they started getting a better offensive line this year, he's looking mean. He just made St. Brown and them. Like, come on, you got to be kidding me. To me, Jared Goff is undervalued. I totally agree with trading for Matthew Stafford because Stafford was an upgrade. But I'm not trading Jared Goff for anybody. And I'm going to say this respectfully. I'm not trading Jared Goff for no Lamar Jackson. St. Brown and them would not have them numbers with Lamar Jackson. I take it a step further. People are saying that the Vikings should trade for Lamar Jackson. Justin Jefferson is not getting them numbers with Lamar Jackson. That's one. I don't care what nobody say. That's one. But two, he just lost Adam Thielen, right? So for Lamar to even want to go over there and play where we don't know how they're going to look, even though Osborne is the number 2 now, we don't know how they're going to look. And that's going to fall on Lamar. So I wouldn't want to go over there, but I still don't think Justin Jefferson gets those numbers with Lamar Jackson. Do you agree? Should you call me an Uber? Keep it a C note. Also, keep it a C note. Let me know. Lamar Jackson is the most undervalued quarterback in the NFL. Is the second most undervalued quarterback in the NFL Jared Goff? Yes, no, keep it a C note. McDonald's All-American game recently just passed. Shout out to the East. They came back and won 109-106. DJ Wagner was the MVP. He got busy. Shout out Bronny James. Bronny hit 5 3-pointers. That jumper looked mean. I'm going to keep it a C note. If Bronny James tighten up his handle, especially if he get to like 6'6", he might be a problem. He might be a problem. He can shoot. Good golly, Miss Molly, he can shoot. Just want to see him shoot more off the dribble and tighten that handle up. I want to see if he get to 6'6", he got to be getting to the basket with these. But my whole thing with the All-American game, the only thing I didn't like was the coaching by the East. I know you got a bunch of talent, but I don't like how he just subbed them in 4 or 5 at a time, different units. I wanted to see the kid Aiden Holloway on the court with DJ Wagner, Edwards, and the other kid from Camden. At least for a little portion of the game. I also wanted to see Stephon Castle in the game with them fellas. So that was my only gripe, but it was an entertaining game. A lot of tough kids going to school. Let me ask you this. McDonald's All-American game. Was it better than this year's NBA All-Star game? Yes, no. Keep it a C note, let me know. I'm going to say yes, the game was entertaining, even stretches when the East were down. NBA All-Star game is a joke now. It's not competitive at all. I remember it was a time where NBA All-Star game was the best players, and they were all coming together to show who is the best out of all of them. Now these guys are just WWE. I'm keeping it a C note, but what's your thoughts on it? Was the McDonald's All-American game better than the NBA All-Star game? Keep it a C note. Kyrie, Luka, Doncic are not working in Dallas. Since Kyrie's been there, they slipped out of the playoffs. The defense has gotten worse. Their scoring has went down. Keep it a C note. You got some people blaming Kyrie. You got some people blaming the coach. Keep it a C note. Who's to blame for the Dallas Mavericks falling apart like they have since acquiring Kyrie Irving? Let me know. Originally, I was saying it was Kyrie because Kyrie just usually destroys teams. But since we just did the recent episode and I talked about Michael Jordan getting all the criticism because of his name, I mean, a blind person could see Luka Doncic and Kyrie wasn't going to work because they both got to have a basketball in their hand. And it's just horrible. Even when you watch Kyrie dribbling the ball and Luka's just standing around, almost like they were doing back then when CP3 got to Houston. It's like these guys who can play with the basketball in their hand, a lot of them can't play without the ball. Pause. And I think that's what separates probably Steph and a couple of these other guys, Dame, from the guys who can. But why Mark Cuban don't get no blame for that? If Jordan would have traded for Kyrie and already had Luka, they would have said, Jordan messed that team up. Why nobody blames Mark Cuban? Porzingis is over there rocking. Why does nobody blame Mark Cuban for getting rid of Porzingis? But you give up Spencer Dinwiddie, you give up the kid Finley Smith, you give up your little bit of defense that you have. And you've got worse offensively. You didn't even become a firepower on offense. The GM, Cuban, all those guys deserve some blame like Michael Jordan would have got for it. I'm just keeping it a C note. And Jason Kidd as a coach is horrible. Like, we just got to call a spade a spade. Jason Kidd cannot coach. He can't coach. And you know, it's just horrible. Like, again, Luka off ball. If he don't got the ball in his hand, he's not doing anything. Why Christian Woods doesn't get minutes like that from Jason Kidd, mind-boggling. But Jason Kidd is a horrible coach. I'm just keeping it a C note. We got Portland. They've shut it down for the season, shut Dame down. They're tanking. I respect Dame's stance on things, but now I think it's becoming a burden. You know, first of all, he's wasting his talents over there, and Portland is not going to put anything around him. Dame Lillard has zero chance of winning a championship in Portland. I just feel as though it's time to go. And I know he hates the ring culture and this, that, and the third. So I wouldn't even go to one of them loaded teams. I would go to one of them teams that has better role players, maybe like a Toronto, right? And I put that team over the hump. That's just my thoughts. I was standing with you, Dame, but you in a no-win situation because the culture is not going to change, and you're just going to be that guy every year that if you do make the playoffs, maybe first round, second round, if that. You see what I'm saying? But we're going to keep having this problem. Portland can't get no free agents. He can't win over there. That's just me keeping it a C note. But what's your thoughts on Portland calling it quits on the season, sitting Dame down? Is it time for Dame Lillard to move on from Portland? Where would you like to see Dame Lillard play? Keep it a C note. Let me know. Man, end the show off with another thing funny that I seen so far this week. Shout out Cam. Shout out Mase. It is what it is podcast. They put me on. I was watching ESPN and Brian Windhorst was on. And he was basically, they were talking regular NBA stuff. And I instantly thought, I'm like, damn, boy came a long way, because I remember the season it was his last season in Cleveland, and that's when I first started hearing Brian Windhorst. Brian Windhorst didn't travel with LeBron now after watching Cam and him. Watched him in high school, started writing for Cleveland in 03. Basically moved to Miami with Brian. He's covered him when he came back, and he basically got his foot in the door off of LeBron. That's major right there. Shout out to Brian for that. Shout out to Cam, because I didn't even realize it. I didn't even know he went back that far, but I know I did start seeing him on NBA as like a special reporter. And it was like he writes for this paper or whoever. Then it just became out of nowhere ESPN beat writer. And I'm like, God damn. Shout out Cam for that. Brian Windhorst. Shout out to you. You seen the gold mine early. You ran with it. Shout out to Brian. That's a major move that you got that much power. Wrapping this episode up, people. Again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This your first time tuning in, please make sure you hit the sub button. Everybody that's tuned in, hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop new content. You agree with anything in this video? Disagree? You want to check me on something or call me a Oouuber? Let me know in the comments, please. Make sure you share this video with somebody so everybody can join the debate. Everybody can voice their opinion. As always, I am your boy Brown. Please tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to tell everybody to keep the C note. I holla at y'all.
Shit. This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like. Da, da, da.